episode we're on? I think we're on episode
3.
3, yay.
Because we missed a week.
We missed a week. Oh, it was a sad
We'll
week.
have to apologise in the beginning.
We'll have to do something about that at some point. We'll make it up later. But hello and welcome to the Sofa of Adam, the Tea Break podcast, episode 003, as Mike rightly pointed out, and it's with me, Adam, and Mike.
Hey.
And Darren.
Hello.
We, as always, are going to be going through comments at the end, but to start with, we're going to be going through games that are coming out this week. We've got Danganronpa, which is a V3 Killing Harmony. It's like that Persona 5 thing, if either of you have seen it. There's like a little cat thing.
I want to play
There was the
Persona,
mini game
but
out
I
a little
haven't.
while ago on PSVR as well. It was like a little black and white cat. It was black and one half white on the other half was
No.
the logo.
Oh, was
never mind.
that teddy bear thing?
Yeah, but that's it. The little teddy bear with the red eyes.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's the next one.
Oh,
But I
okay.
didn't play whatever that was.
No, I don't know what that is either.
No, number 2 is Hob, which is a little stealth RPG thing that came out ages ago on Steam, and now it's finally made its way onto the Sony console. Pride and joy.
Hob?
Hob. Little thing. I think he's a little goblin.
A goblin.
Yeah, it's a goblin
Like the
called
Hobbs
Hob.
in
Fable.
Fable, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually from Fable. I think he's just called Hob.
That's all I thought. Fable.
Yeah.
Those annoying things.
Yes, they were.
No, I never played Fable.
I
I played
liked
I
them,
played Fable
but-
2. Fable 2 is the one where you had the moral system and those
They all
the big
had
gates
moral.
in heaven where you'd level up by going
That's
through one
Fable
of those gates.
3.
Oh, I played Fable 3. I played 3. Was that the best one to play?
I liked 3.
I liked 3.
You know, as far as the other ones was concerned, it wasn't the greatest of them, but
No,
I liked
I
3.
suppose that's up for debate. But number 3 out this week, we've got Ruiner. I have nothing on that. Does anybody? No. It's on PS4. Go look it up if you know what it is. Don't Starve, the Mega Pack. That's that indie game, the little paper cutouts.
I sort of know what that is.
Yeah, they're adding a load of little DLCs and extra characters. It's all multiplayer, basically survival strategy. If you already know what it is,
It's
then you know
Rimworld
you want it.
stripped back to just keeping them fed.
Yeah, it is basically. I don't personally like it very much. I tried it with Jake.
Yeah, no, I
but-
played it. It was alright.
Have you ever played it?
No,
No. Oh.
doesn't ring a bell.
No, that's a shame.
Where is this?
Little 2D paper cutouts. They run around.
No.
It's very. I don't
Let's
know,
say
very
like
noir,
Rimworld.
very noir drawing-y, very
It just
black
makes
and
me
white.
think Little Big Planet.
No, it's not.
Well, it's Rimworld.
It's more
if
like
it's designed
Subnautica.
by Tim Burton.
It's Subnautica looking like RimWorld. That's what it is. We've got FIFA 18 as well, football, which, yay.
No.
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 Blue Reflection, which is like an anime high school dancing thing. I think that's out on Vita. It's
No.
like, no one cares. Pinball FX3, no. Light Tracer, little motorbike thing. Fallout 4 is getting its Game of the Year edition. That's more your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it depends what you mean by Game of the Year.
I think it's got, as far as I'm aware, it's got all the DLC
Big-
included.
Definitive
Pay,
edition.
give us £100 and we'll give you Fallout 4.
No,
again.
it'll probably be.
Dunno.
It'll probably be the same price as the launch one. Unless you want the Pip-Boy, then it's over £100.
He's got the Pip-Boy.
I have
He
the
is
Pip-Boy.
there. He
I
is
have
that
the
kind of
Pip-Boy.
fan.
I have the box, but I converted mine into a Bluetooth speaker.
Did you? I thought that. Did you make
No,
another one?
you
or was
open
the
it,
same
and
one?
inside it's
Oh.
full of electronics, and it's got the speakers, and it even has disco lights.
Wow.
That's pretty rad, to be honest. Mike, there's one for you actually. Next one, number 10, Batman: The Enemy Within, Episode 2, The Pact.
Is that the?
I don't know.
You know, the
Telltale.
I
Telltale
thought it
game.
was,
I've
but when
not-
I looked it up, it didn't say Telltale, so I think it's something else that
Because
I've just
no,
never
I can
heard
only
of.
assume because that
It's-
sounds
Yeah, that's
serial,
their
like a serial.
That's their episode 2 for their second series. I've not played any of them.
I'm not aware of
'Cause
Telltale lately. I know they've got Batman, but I don't know what they're
That's
called.
their
If that's what
second-
this is, then I apologise.
But the Telltale game was
That's
just-
just awful.
really-
I hate them.
Can't play them.
that's such a letdown.
It's just a big quick time event, and they're
Yes,
not even very
it was,
good quick
press
time
this
events.
button now.
If you miss it, nothing happens either. You just
Yes.
don't fill your meter. You still punch them.
It
The
still
cutscenes don't
happens.
even change.
Still happens.
Except at the end, it goes, your meter's not full. Do it again.
And it goes, 22% of you decided to kick that guy in the nuts.
It's fun.
And that's
I did.
about it.
To be fair, the only saving grace of that game is if you play it on Xbox, or I believe on PS4 the same, you can get an app, which means that 4 of you sit with your phones and then you play it by voting individually, a bit like Buzz,
Yes.
and then you play it like
Buzz
an
was
interactive.
awesome.
Yeah, I played the new Batman. Oh no, I have played it. I played the new Batman thing. I played the first episode with Jake, but we didn't get very far because everyone got bored. But we didn't get that far because everyone would. The actual algorithm for who got to decide was a bit crap because there were 4 of you. If one of you didn't vote, there was only 3. So it was like an odd number. So if 2 of you vote one way, it just didn't work. Basically, whichever way Jake voted is the way it went, and there was. Because of the way it added it up.
Controller 1.
Yeah, it was a bit crap. Because I could vote anything, but there'd be no point. There'd be at least 2 votes. Because you get 2 and 2, and player 1 gets the sort of deciding vote. So it'll always be 2 and 2, or 1 and 3, and he always kind of won because he's player 1. And it's like, well, this isn't... What's the point of it? You're not actually voting.
No.
And I think it kind of went down the idea of like if you pick red 3 times in a row and then you all pick blue, it kind of goes, who picked red? We'll give it to them this time. There was a bit. I just hated it, but it could have been fun. I could see that being the way the game should have been like advertised as a party game, interactive film. If they advertised all of those as interactive films, party games, vote with your friends, I'd be more interested. But the idea of getting your cursor, which was when it got boring, when you're playing it as a group, and then it goes, someone pick up the controller again, because you've now got to walk around the room and join dots for 10 minutes.
Join dots.
And that's when we got bored, because you can't vote to join dots.
You're supposed to be a detective, not master dot to dot champion.
They are just dot to dot as well. There's no like, it is just, here's a gun, here's a bullet, here's a bloodshot.
Work
In
out
which
how
order
these
did they go?
connect.
Did the gun cause the blood? No, the bullet did. Where did the bullet come from? The gun. 1, 2, 3. There's no. That's it. You're kind of just walking around the room, unless you can't see it. Then it's walk around the room and go, oh, I've done it wrong. Walk around the room again with a different filter on, so you can see all the glow in the dark bits, and then you can join those dots.
So you mean walk around the room in detective mode?
Yeah. Oh, God, I hate
I
detective mode.
doubt legally they could call it that.
I hate detective mode. Someone had to go through all the effort of making a game, doing all those textures, and then you play
wave
the
a
whole
blue filter on top.
in a blue filter. I've seen the people at
To be
Rocksteady
fair,
talk about that and go how annoyed they were because they
in-
tried to take it out of the second one, but it didn't make any fucking difference.
No, I was going to say, in Arkham City, they did sort of thing it back, and they did, instead of, you couldn't leave it on. So
Yeah, that was what they tried to
after
do.
a while, it would just turn off.
They should have done it on like a battery or something. They had to recharge.
I kind of, well, the second one was the favourite, but...
It's your favourite.
Yeah.
Number 11, SteamWorld 2. Don't know. Splasher, another one, don't know. 100-foot robot golf.
I thought
which
that
I
was
thought was already out.
yeah.
But it's not. I looked it up. I'm definitely sure it comes out on the 27th or the 26th. The date's gone now because it was like an hour ago. I should have written that down right here. But the point is, it comes out this week coming.
I've seen
gameplay, but I think that's
it's
on
basically
Steam.
we're giant robots playing golf.
I don't think you have to take turns.
Look
either.
after those buildings.
Yeah.
No, it's
You're
just
hitting everything.
hit your ball into the hole before everyone else.
It's basically like that sort of VR thing I've got where you're all in a pub and you can play the games properly, or you can just pick up the ball cue and throw it across the room. But with golf, you can all do what you like, or you can actually play golf. That would just annoy me.
It depends, do you go round the city or do you smash through the city?
Smash through the city. I'm a giant robot.
Exactly.
It's my
written
duty.
in the name.
That's all
It's my
happen.
job to cause collateral damage.
It's true.
It's all golf and collateral damage.
So I was just taking a sip of my tea. If you don't have a tea, by the way, you're letting the side down. Darren's got coffee, but he drinks coffee.
No, I've drunk mine.
Oh, that's a letdown.
That's the way it goes.
We'll get a refill between part 3 and 4.
Get around in. Yeah.
14, Gundam Versus, and it looks awful. Just thought I'd throw
Is
that.
that fighting?
Yes. Yes, it is. It looks awful. Really bad 3D.
Robots
mechs.
fighting each other.
Yeah,
That seems to be the
problem
trend
that
now.
I've got with it is I like Gundam. It's the scale of the games that's off. You feel like you're playing with a person that looks like a robot walking around a city that's miniature. You don't feel like a giant robot in a normal city. It's difficult to get that in games. It's all to do with lighting, really. But
Yes.
I think it's more to do with
That's
lighting.
what was that thing that we were watching? It was like you crawled into a vent.
Oh,
you crawled into a vent.
Soma.
That's
yes.
it, Soma. You crawl into a vent, and instead of feeling like you're in a tight space, it's
felt
like
a
you're a
corridor.
speck just running around a big warehouse.
It really did feel very strange. But again, that's because you can spin round and on the spot and move left and right a little bit inside what should be
something.
events.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to move at all.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really be able to turn around.
Yeah.
And you can't see your arms or your
I
legs,
must
so you are
admit-
still just a floating camera in a different size corridor,
Yeah.
and perspectives lost
It's
and
like
it's giant again.
But it's like they managed to get it to work in, Metal
the-
Gear Solid, the first
must
one.
admit,
Yeah,
the
in
first
some-
one.
It's on
Yeah.
PlayStation 1.
I was going to say, in Soma, when you were going out into like the open stretches of water, I did feel very claustrophobic in those sections.
Yeah, but that's true. But that was very different. That's the same size. We're talking about just the idea of scale. Do you remember the bit we're talking about? Where you went
Yeah.
into the vent? Yeah,
And we
that's
spent
fine.
half an hour laughing that we could
We
go
did
around
spend,
it.
yeah, when we did it before you saw it, when we
Yeah.
played it, I made that point immediately and was like, just walking through, like, really, really frightened, climbing this hole. I've lost all sense of fear because I seem to have been teleported into a giant corridor. It was very odd. It was very odd.
Yeah.
Lastly, in the release list on PSVR, is DreamWorks Voltron Chronicles. And again, it looks awful. I wouldn't. If you want to go look it up, you
Is that a
can. But I
robot
wouldn't.
game?
recommend- It is, yeah.
Oh.
And it looks really bad. It's really nothing to
Robot
talk
game.
about on there. And that's all for the games coming out this week. On to news. I've stolen that. I feel really bad about it now. We've got, for you two, Mike, because you want to talk about this, is Vampire, spelled with a Y and no E on the end. So VAMPYR.
The European.
I'm just
Vampire with a Y.
It's not. It's got no E on the end. It's
got a
just
Y.
Vampyr. I don't personally. Really,
Vampyr.
if it had an E on the end, I'd be okay with it. But without the E, I'm annoyed. But that's on PS4. But it's been delayed to a spring release. Mike, tell us why.
They had during development, they found that they had sort of a technical difficulty because they wanted to create a really deep game. So they had a couple of problems, I assume, with the engine, but they didn't go into great.
Do you know what it's on?
Unreal, I believe.
If it's what's it? So it's full 3D then.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering, like, what am I picturing here? Full 3D. So just sell me.
So full 3D, it's semi-open world. From what I understand, because you're a vampire,
Yeah,
you drink blood.
that makes sense.
Apparently, who you drink where you get your blood from has an impact. So it's like if you take out a slaver or a crime boss, that could have a really positive impact.
Oh, I see.
But saying
Okay.
that, he could be working for a bigger crime boss, and because you've taken that crime
He'll
boss,
get stronger. and-
someone else could come in and be more damaging to
So
the
it's
area.
like the Nemesis system taken to times 100. It's the Nemesis system Dishonored had a baby.
Sort of.
Okay, that's weird.
And it's
Do
got
you know
side
how
quests.
you say it's a semi-open world?
I've only seen bits of gameplay of like bits of combat, some of the cutscenes and all of that, but nothing past that. No, like map
Fair
end to
enough.
end.
I'll find a trailer actually. I'll probably put that on so everyone listening now could probably, if you're watching the video version, you can now see a trailer or something because I don't know what it looks like, so I'm
But,
talking
yeah,
blind.
no,
But
Well, the shots I've seen are, it's like, just imagine you're kind of walking around Victorian London, you've got all the,
okay, so it's in
grimy.
It's all
England. Thank you, Darren.
Well, that's what it looked like. It was all, brick buildings and cobblestones, just stalking,
Very dank and dark.
vampiring about.
Saving people's lives at the same time.
So I
doing-
suppose you
doing
can
your
pick
stuff.
who you kill then.
Yeah.
So you can kill good people or bad people, and that will have an influence on the outcome of the whole story. Do you know what the story is?
No, not yet.
No,
You're a vampire.
a vampire. I suppose that's all you need, really.
You're a vampire.
Going by most vampire stories, there's probably a bit of search for redemption. Am I really a villain or...
I guess that's on your choices, though. There'll be a good ending and a bad ending, or many endings.
Right,
In
so-
2017, the
I
year of our Lord,
expect many endings.
I believe we should have many endings.
Well, it depends on the quality
Well, it
of the
depends if
story.
you go with you could be a good vampire or an evil vampire.
Yeah.
Which way you
And I
gonna go?
assume
Yeah.
the powers you get in it will reflect on that.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I'll have to. We'll look that up for next time because I'm curious. I
I
want to
wa-
see what all the abilities are and see what the actual gameplay mechanics are to that because I'm curious. That's very interesting. Moving swiftly on though, Doom is coming out on the Switch. Digital Foundry said that they were impressed, but they were a bit annoyed that it ran at 30 frames per second, not the holy grail of 60, and it's had the rendering taken down and the view distance taken down. But other than that, there's the same number of monsters, the game runs and plays the same, and on that beautiful 720p screen that's sort of shrunk down, I feel like you probably wouldn't. You'd lose some of those. You'd get those details back because it is a lot of a small. It's like the Vita. Lots of games look very good on the Vita just because it was a HD screen, but it was very very small.
I did read a review and they said they were impressed how they compressed it down to something that basically, essentially, is a tablet.
What? Yeah, to get it to run on the Switch. I don't know how.
I've
seen gameplay. I've seen gameplay on the Switch, and it looked okay. To my mediocre, untrained eye, because I've not played the original Doom, I've not played the remake of Doom. I haven't played the newest one. I played 3. I liked Doom 3. That was really good. I had that on PS3. That was terrifying. That was an actual horror game for me. I was shitting myself. That was my old Soma.
Oh, that game with no lights.
Yes.
Game with no lights.
It was very dark.
Well,
not like the new one, which is more of a thriller game, really. It's just gun and run.
Yeah.
So it kind of it's an interesting
But the first
pick.
one was a gun and run though.
Yeah, I can't say I've actually played the original Doom. You have. You were saying you've played
it when it
was one of the first games I ever played.
I just never got into. I played the original Quake, which is Doom.
Essentially Doom with more people.
Doom.
I used to play that on my 386 PC back in the day.
That sounds.
Oh, now you're reaching your age.
There's power.
That sounds like a Terminator.
386.
Did it come from the future?
I had Windows 3.1.
But it claimed it did at the time.
That's exciting.
You better believe it.
Cool. Also, number 2 on our... Oh, no, number 3. I've told a complete lie. We've got the Not a Hero Chris Redfield DLC for Resident Evil 7 coming out. It looks like another Zombies mode, but who knows? It looks very pretty, and there's new guns, obviously a new map. You've got the new character, the old character.
Who's Chris Redfield? Is it Chris Redfield in his brown jacket?
No, I think it's normal Chris Redfield from the first game, not Fridge Chris Redfield.
Oh, what, in his blue rolled up shirt?
Yes, I think he's, that one, with his Stars uniform. Because he's in Stars, isn't it?
Basically rolled up blue shirt and a holster strappy thing.
That's the right one, yeah. That's the Chris that we're in, because this follows on from Res 7, or comes immediately before.
I think, from what I've worked out, it follows on at the end, either before he comes to pick, So either during Res 7 and overlaps just before the ending, or just after the ending. Right, I see. I thought it happened just before Res 7. That's what I said. I'm not 100% where it falls.
But as far as I know, he's something to do with the actual virus and everything.
Yeah, I think he's part of cleanup crew.
Yeah, he's going to deal with whatever dealt with Resident Evil 7, because we know it's all, I have a rough idea. I'm playing it on the channel. Little selfless, pitying pitch. Go watch those. I'm pooing myself in all of them. They're quite funny to watch. But I don't really know what the story is. I know you've got the woman and that she's sort of in charge, really. She kind of has to be. She's the little old lady. She's blatantly the girl.
Well, there's a photo that says she's 01 as well.
Yeah, we've discussed it. So she's the girl in charge of some degree.
Yeah.
So that'll be that. So if she's being possessed by this little girl, she'll be infected with a virus that Umbrella have made that crash landed on the beach in that boat, I expect. And that boat will have come from Umbrella, and that will be what Chris is doing. It will be him on the tanker when it crashes and releases it. It will be the virus bit, because Resident Evil 7 is more of the Blair Witch bit, the effect of said virus. It's not really you don't see any labs in 7.
No, there's no labs in 7.
It's like you're playing
it's
people
just a
affected.
creepy house.
Yeah.
Welcome to the creepy house.
Yeah, there's a lot of creepy houses.
But it's an effective creepy house.
Yeah.
It's very creepy.
I like it.
Especially
it's the lighting that does it for me.
Yeah.
The lighting's really impressive. I like looking at an engine and I look at it and you go, it looks very pretty. But what is it that makes it pretty? Because lots of games are lazy. They'll have just a lighting box or a skybox that generically lights everything. Like Skyrim or Fallout, which upsets me because everywhere is the same generic light level unless they purposefully put in a block that makes it dark. You get candles that give off a ball of light. It's much better when you've got something like Resident Evil where the light is done through ray effects and particle effects, so you can actually walk in front of something and cut off with a shadow. If you walk around a corner, a shadow casts across your face.
And they reflect. And
the reflections and things. It really improves that game immensely.
You know what disappoints me? You get all the reflections of light and shadows and all that off lights in Resident 7, but you don't have a shadow.
No, I said that in the video. Yeah, you don't have a shadow yourself, which is a bit weird. But again,
it's weird. You're a camera
kind
with
of get
arms.
by that because it is VR, and I suppose having legs can sometimes be a bit disjointing. because your feet are never moving at the pace that you are, because you're stood still in the real world.
That's why I want...
It makes you feel more out of place. So just going, I have hands, and in the real world you go, I have hands, so that doesn't... You feel all right. The more is less sometimes.
I really want Sony to release their version of that product we saw a few years ago, the Omi thing.
The Omi.
Yeah, the treadmill type
thing.
Treadmill.
Yeah,
VR
it's
treadmill.
quite clever.
That was slippy shoes.
Yes. Basically, it's a little pad made of slippery material. I think it will, if it's ever made, it will come to Kickstarter, and it will never be sold under the Sony or Xbox brand. As long as I live,
I want Sony to do, because then when Skyrim comes out, I can plug it in. And then I can go for a run in Skyrim and actually run in the Skyrim.
Well, funny that whilst we're talking about running and VR and everything, that kind of brings us on to PSVR's latest release. And afterwards, we've got something else on VR related. But Zone of Enders, the mech game from Hideo Kojima, is being brought
Metal Gear Gundam.
Pretty much, yeah. It's being brought to PSVR. I don't know how I feel about it. It's aged well, considering it was on PS2. It's got 4K graphics now, or 4K textures.
But to be fair...
Graphics... The shapes are the same, the textures are different, so I don't really know what to say about it. If you've played it, it's going to be the same game. I preferred 1, I never really played much of 2, I had to look up some of it, but the actual cutscenes are better in 2, because they show anime. They've animated anime cutscenes, so it'll cut to outside the mech, by blasting, in-game, inside the mech, all anime, outside the mech, more blasting, all CGI. I like that.
But I was going to say, to be fair, in Kojima's sort of credit, most of his games are aged well.
They do, to be fair. The mech designs aren't by him specifically. They're from the guy who in Metal Gear did
the designs,
mech, the designs
for
Metal Gear, and obviously
and
Rex. Ray is my favourite because that was Metal Gear 2.
I have a soft spot for
water
Rex,
one.
but I have a soft spot for dinosaurs.
Yes, I like Ray because it looks like Godzilla. It screams. Screams and has a water jet. What more do you want? That's number 2. The one on the bridge, where he jumps off the bridge.
Off the bridge?
Yeah, and then you see it go...
I'm trying to remember.
It's in the tanker in the beginning.
It makes an actual noise. It's the only Metal Gear that screams for some reason.
It's in the tanker in
the one
demo
in the tanker in the demo at the beginning. You can play the tanker bit first, where you jump off the bridge, or you can skip straight to the bit where you're playing Raiden. Do you remember?
Just trying to remember.
It's not because you saw the trailer about a half an hour ago for some reason, and you went, "Oh, I remember this."
I remember jumping
off
the bridge.
Just you only jump off to that bridge because you've seen.
Yes.
You know it's there. So
that's the thing. But it's like it was a long time ago.
No, it was a long time ago, but still, that's something to look forward to. I mean, I don't really know much.
I can't wait because we did say we were looking forward to our first mech game.
A mech game for VR. Being inside a mech is something Riggs did really well. But Riggs was really unplayable because it's sport and you need to be really nimble to be able to rotate on the spot and shoot and go and score a point, take note of where all your players are, where everyone else is, and everyone's moving at once and everyone's got different abilities. And then you're in VR and then you've got to do a controller you can't see. It all gets a bit tricky and a bit much, and I really struggled with it.
No,
but
I didn't like it either.
I feel like a mech game that's single player and just says, go shoot these things, you're in a mech, could be really much more playable.
But it's just another, I'm in a big robot, shoot stuff.
Yeah. But
yeah. But I like anime.
Like,
anime is totally I like my Japanese anime games.
It depends. It depends who
right,
made it.
Otacon.
Yeah, it's just like one of my Japanese animes.
Certain Japanese games are just irritating as hell.
And some games are weird.
Well, like, you know, it's like the Titan game came out. And
Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
You played that?
No.
I didn't.
You are a
watch
braver
it,
man than I.
God,
but it's like
it's
typical
so
one of
bad.
those Japanese games where they render all this stuff, they build the meshes, they build the
gameplay's
awesome
awful.
textures, and then every time you hit something, everything's covered in just a massive pile of pointless digits.
Yeah, it's
and
quite,
that's the thing I don't like about Japanese games.
Japanese games do have a
They're
habit.
just annoying the crap out of me.
From habit, for people no one can see what I'm doing, but I have my hand in the air because we played Digimon World on the channel, and that was a Japanese game, and that was horrendous. That's like playing World of Warcraft. There's so many menus on screen. For half of 2 episodes, we had a box that took up literally half the screen, but was transparent to some effect. So we just had to play with it because we couldn't, for the life of us, work out how to get rid of it.
So we just played with this box in the way and eventually gave up. But it is convoluted as hell. I feel like maybe the Japanese prefer that. Maybe that's a cultural thing.
Just
but
menus and just pointless tat on the screen that you don't need.
one good thing for VR is it involves a lot of simplification of menus. Because obviously in VR you can't have too much on screen. So some of these Japanese games, if they're being remastered into VR and brought back, might give them a new lease of life. They might get simplified down. But it's like Dissidia. Like, I totally get your point of view. Because Dissidia's coming to PS4, and I saw that and laughed.
I've never
when
played
I saw
one.
the gameplay and saw a big menu on the right and a giant rotating disc in the bottom left corner that's spinning for your points, and there's all these numbers coming off, and there's 9 people playing at once, and you can pick all your abilities off of your list, and there's like a list of everyone in the match at the same time. Like, this is a console game, I was thinking. Like, what do I need all this information? It looks like it was on Vita 5 or 6 years ago. That's what it is. If you picture
wasn't it?
Japanese, what the old one was. I think that they've made this is number 2, which is on console, but it looks like they've just ported the original one, but it's not. It is a new game, but it doesn't look any better.
No, I do want
really
to play
cluttered,
it, but
and
it's
they've
sort
stretched
of...
it.
I don't know.
No, I know. I like the characters and that, but nothing else. That's your cup. Nearly took your empty cup, and I looked in and went, this cup's empty. Miserable. Moving on, Skyrim and Fallout VR have now had fully confirmed by Bethesda, because I have been promoting the fact that it has full locomotion if you use a DualShock. If you didn't know, just for the people in the room, because you've got the Move controllers, which are the 2 hands.
Yep.
They don't have analog sticks, so you can teleport with those and use your hands to defend and use a thing.
Teleporting just doesn't sound good.
No,
does it?
I was completely off.
Well, apparently everyone's compared it. It's not teleporting because it doesn't go black like in other VR games to teleport. So it's more like a running.
Like, go here, but you can't play it like that unless you're like, I've decided. But the point is,
it's like when you play one of those annoying point and click.
Yeah.
With your character and they run.
You can't do combat that way, but then you've got move controllers to do all this spell casting and stuff. However, they've now officially confirmed if you do use your DualShock, it is 100% normal gameplay in VR. You can just play it with a controller and walk and do everything you'd normally do, which is what I will be doing. And I reiterate to everyone listening, you should do the same. And then when you've got a house, hoard all the stuff like you always did
Put it in
your
the
house.
corner.
Yeah, like we all do. You get a house and you fill it with jewels and diamonds that are worthless but just look really cool. Then swap to your Move controllers and spend half an hour looking at all your things up close and just teleporting around your little house and really enjoying everything up close and picking them up and sitting down and do it all then using your hands, and then swap back to your controller, sit down and go outside and play the rest of the game. And because I don't see any other way of doing it. Or being on the Dragon, I see bits where you could use the Move controllers.
The Dragon's a total pig to control, though.
No,
It's really hard with just the controller.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is there's going to have to have been some work, because they did say that they've spent a few years doing this because it wasn't as simple as just porting it up. Like, my example I normally use is the leveling up is now actually in the sky. So if you level up, you go ping, you look up at the stars, and in the stars above you are the level up screen, because they should be in the sky. That's where it should be. But do you see what I mean? So it is a little bit different.
Because that's kind of how you press it in, in the game that's out.
Yeah.
You press it and it just goes whoosh.
Whoosh. But in VR you can't do that, so it'd be much cooler to just have it above you. So maybe the Dragon bit, they'd have redesigned it, and you go, well, we ported it immediately, they test it as is and go, vomit spewing out the headset and goes, no, we may have to adjust that before we sell it. I bet there was a lot of that.
Do you think in the VR version, you're running along in first person, and all of a sudden you get on a horse, and all of a sudden your view gets turned to the third person perspective?
What, were you just fixed forward? You can't turn your head. Yeah, there's lots of that, because on the horse you couldn't really look around, could you? Because you turned the horse. So attaching a camera that can move into those sequences is its own task for a game as big as Skyrim. So I'm impressed. People are knocking it and going, oh, it's just Skyrim. And I'm like, yeah, but
the work
I enjoy Skyrim.
To tart it
I
up.
want to sit in Riften for half an hour with a cup of tea and then invite my friends round and get drunk. And we can all run through Skyrim and look at mountains and things. I'm not going to play the game. I'm just going to walk through woods. I'm just going to walk around a lot. That's just admire it.
Well, you have to at the beginning before you fast travel everything.
Oh, I'm never fast travelling. Not in VR. I'm just going to walk everywhere. Just really take it in.
It'd take forever.
It would.
Get a horse.
That would be great, though. Get a horse. It'd be so good to get immersed
Get a
in the
horse
world
and then
properly.
it immediately dies.
Yeah, and then walk until you
And
get
then
another
walk.
horse.
And find another horse and then it dies.
No, it's very true. But it's good to know that there's all this support coming. And a quote from whoever runs Bethesda is that they are working on doing Move controllers and walking around, but they haven't worked out how they're going to do it. And I don't know how they're going to do it, because there isn't analog sticks. And I've only played one other game.
All they have to do is just build a controller with an analog stick.
with analog
Yeah,
sticks.
but then it's
That's
like,
selling
we've
a whole
got
new controller, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but it's
and then all the
another
other games
peripheral.
have to go, oh, there's an analog stick now, we have to do it all again, all the coding.
Yeah.
But more the point is I played Windlands, and in Windlands, with the Move controllers, you press, oh god, it's agony to describe.
Lots of buttons, isn't
It's
it?
like triangle is forwards and X is walk backwards, and on the other hand, circle is walk right, and then you can rotate with R1 and L1, and it was agony. It was one of the most difficult things I've done, because you've got to run and jump and wall run in that. That's like Princess Persia.
And look about as well.
That is like Princess Persia,
Yes.
bearing in mind that you don't normally know where the buttons are on Move controllers, because you don't use them since 2004 when they came out with the PS3, so I don't know where all the buttons are, and then you're blind because you've got a headset on, then you look at your hands in game, and they have turned into something else.
Yes.
And you're like, it goes, press triangle, you're flying through the air, desperately going, X, triangle, and I've died. Because I needed to wall run, and I couldn't even find walk forwards, let alone all the other actions and head movements required. So I like the idea that Skyrim's just going to have a DualShock, because as much as I'm an advocate for VR, some of it's a bit stressful. It does take adjusting, and I would like to be able
That's
to
what I say.
relax
If I
while I'm
had
playing
my
them.
Oni, I'd be away.
No, I wouldn't. See, I don't need more cables. I can't imagine strapping all of my VR stuff in and then going, and now let
Get
me
the
plug
treadmill
in my
out."
treadmill and my shoes, and Bluetooth my shoes to whatever weird device the treadmill has
Yeah,
been
but
plugged
that'd be
into.
awesome, because that'd be as close we're going to get to a holodeck.
Well, no, I think honestly, by the time if you've got enough cables strapped to you, you don't need a holodeck. You just buy a holodeck. You start developing new technology. Like it gets to the point where you just go, I can't move. You're just strapped to the wall and cables coming in. Or in a suit, you're, I'm loving it. I can feel everything. It's like, yeah, but you could just stop. Just play the game, which is what I'm saying. Like you need to be able to relax more in VR. Some games are a bit too full on. It's good to see Skyrim
Well, you
pushing
can't
it.
get more full on than a dragon attack.
No, you can't. No, you can't. That will be really terrifying. Moving swiftly on to the final point in our sort of news is Absolver, which you wanted to talk about, wasn't it? One of you. You both wanted to talk
Yes.
about it. Tell me, make me your brother.
Well, it's a Ooh. Well, it's a fighting game. It's sort of open world-ish fighting game.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did show me a brief clip, didn't you? The sort of
Yes.
deserty one. Yeah, yeah.
But
It
I
reminded me of Journey. It looks
Well,
like
I like-
Journey, but violent.
Well, to me, it looks like that freemium God game, Goddess. If you ever played that,
No.
Peter Molyneux freemium game.
Oh,
I heard
okay.
of Peter Molyneux, but
I know
I've not.
Peter Molyneux.
You know, Peter Molyneux. He did Fable.
Praise the sun.
Yes, he did Fable.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Peter Molyneux did Fable because everyone
And
was annoyed about
Populous.
Fable 3.
He's the populous man. But
Yeah,
yes.
that wasn't so good.
But
That
there's
I
a freemium
played.
game. It's Goddess. You are a god, and you get to manipulate the land and get,
Do all that stuff.
and do all that stuff. But anyway, to me, it looks like that. It's very square and kind of edgy.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Everything's kind of there's not a
very
lot of,
angular and sharp.
like their
Yeah, I
heads
did
are like
that.
curved lines with a sort of a stiff,
Yeah.
straight
Yeah,
chin.
in that respect, it reminds me of sort of the Journey look. Everything's very polygonal.
Sort of
Polygonal.
shaded.
Polygons. It's all very polygony, but
Sculpted.
Sculpted, yeah, it's all very
Sculpted.
sharp
That
and
was
sculpted.
sculpted.
But from what I saw, you have your four, so you got up, down, left, right, which would be selecting, punch, kick, that. So those are cards, and you unlock hundreds of thousands
There are loads of
moves, and you mix and
cards,
match the moves
But
to
you
what
can
you wanna
only
use.
hold so many. I think.
Yeah,
Isn't
so
that
you'd
different?
unlock.
Isn't it 16 cards you're
Right.
allowed to hold? But
Four. I think you hold four at once, but you
Four-
can have as many as
No,
you
it's,
want.
yeah, it's 16 and there's 150 cards.
Because you were saying about it's martial arts, isn't it?
Yes,
So I'm
but
guessing
as you
there'd be a
progress
deck
through,
for.
the more you use of a certain punch, the better you get at it.
Isn't there different stances as well?
I think so, but they.
Cool, because it'd be all the things I wish was in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, there are lots of things Dragon Ball could take from other games, and vice versa. Because Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has probably some of the best fighting mechanics that I know of. Because
I
I'm
am
not,
really not looking forward to Fighter Z.
I'm not looking forward to Fighting Z, but you're getting off topic. 'Cause it's nothing to do with Absolver.
No, it isn't martial arts.
Yeah, it's martial arts.
It's martial artsy.
I don't know. It's a bit multiplayer-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is
I'm
Absolver
not really
multiplayer?
100% sure.
No, it's yeah.
I believe I've heard. Doesn't it have multiplayer? A
Absolver.
section Absolver, so you can
It's
fight
a
other
MMO.
people, your mates. Oh, it is online.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's more
But
like
it's-
Dark Souls or
Yeah,
something.
it's sort of more like Dark Souls, but from what I remember, it's sort of they're there in the world at the same time as well. But it's
Okay.
also got a single player, so I assume it's like Grand Theft Auto, where you have
So basically, you've got a giant
Yes.
map of stuff. And
Yeah.
you go out
And
to
beat
try and
people
beat
up.
people up
Yeah.
to earn these cards to add to your own
Yeah.
abilities to
But
become
that's
a
it.
great fighter.
And there's no loot.
and no
Ooh.
loot.
No loot.
Very
Ooh,
monkey.
that's a risky strategy in 2017.
loot.
I'm yeah.
No loot. I
What
don't
do you mean?
What?
No loot?
Where's the cycle?
Where does it come from? What's the game
How are you
about?
going to microtransaction that?
Yeah.
There's no loot.
Where do I put my money?
Take my money.
Sit down, I'll get all my money out. Right, I'm ready to play. There's nowhere to pay for this.
Yes, but yes, no loot.
No,
But I
that's
don't know
good,
how that's going to work.
Yeah, so it's probably not.
You're
probably
probably
not going to be
given
armor
gifts.
then.
'Cause
It's
may-
all about
Because I
defense through your
assume
abilities.
maybe you're on a pilgrimage.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
I see. There might
and
be a
it's not
story
about
of
the
such.
loot; it's about the journey.
Yeah. It's about the adventure, not the destination.
It's all very scary things, very Lord of the Rings.
Wait, yeah, Lord of the Rings if Gandalf knew Kung Fu.
If Gandalf knew Kung Fu, this would be the game that we'd be playing.
Kung Fu Gandalf.
Well, there were, from what I saw, there was like chi attacks, but a red aura could be anything.
Oh, what, in Absolver? You
Yeah.
mean like the abilities? So you've seen, so is that like magic?
I,
You've seen,
I
like-
don't know, I just
Have
saw...
you seen glowing? And
There
yeah,
is,
particles?
there is.
Well, I was going to say, all I
Yes,
saw was a
you
guy
do
do
get-
like a praying thing and then lit by fire. Sorry,
It's like
Dan.
powered up.
Mm.
Yes, he was a bit powered up around his body.
So there's some
Oh,
sort of
okay.
key
So it is
something.
more similar to Dragon Ball than I'm giving it credit for. There's some sort of tie-in, sort of like spirit. There's like, I mean, it's still a game, so they have to have an excuse for where all this energy is coming from. So it'll have like key, and you'll probably, like you say, it'll be a pilgrimage or some sort of spiritual thing where you're learning these martial arts, and you pick the martial arts route
Yeah.
that you want to follow. Are there masters? Do you learn from anyone?
I believe there's
Have you seen
masters.
any?
I think there you depending on which master you learn from, obviously depends on your move list.
Oh, I see.
And if
So
you have
can
a weapon or not
So
as
it's,
well.
it's not like all the cards at once. You do sort of, you get a
Mm,
choice. You go, I'm
yes.
going to become a kung fu
And then you
artist.
could become
I'm going to
better
become
at a
boxer.
certain
Swordsman.
thing.
Oh, it gives it some replay. Swordsman.
There
Yeah,
are
well, there are
swords,
weapons.
there's weaponry.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was picturing just punching and kicking for a whole game.
Yeah, there is.
But
sort of-
depending on what weapon you've got depends on
How you use
stances and card choice.
That's very
Yeah.
That
interesting.
kind of thing.
That must be quite complex. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I like the sound of it. That's always interesting to get more out of a game than less.
And that is all that we have time for as far as what we've got to talk about, really. We're just going to go through the comments. We've only got a few, but the most interesting ones are from Emotional Rice Bowl, which is just a great name. That is fantastic. And he says, damn, with a weird accent. I'm guessing he means damn, because he's got a Y in the middle. I don't... I'm sorry. Damn, I missed this. I played the first two, but this Guns 2 requires a better specs of PC. I wish I could play this too soon. He's talking about Guns. Do you remember Guns, Darren?
I do.
The weird PC game.
It was very anime.
It was. That had lots of numbers.
It
That
does.
was
Numbers all
That was
over the
exactly the
place.
same. There's a Guns 2 on Steam and it's free to play, and I downloaded it.
Well, the first one was a free.
The first one isn't on Steam though. That's still available.
because that was like you could just download. You had to go to that
Yeah,
website,
that's what I
didn't you?
did. It's still the website's not existing, but
Just remember that massive, just
there's a
stairs and
yeah,
balconies.
Yeah, exactly.
Stairs.
It was quite fun though. It was basically like the Matrix.
It was
fighting
just
game.
running about.
What's
gunning
really
it
what's
each
really
other.
weird is, do you remember how many there were? Like you know, you'd log on and it would go. There'd be like 50 servers full of thousands of people.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, you know, where's my ranking? I'm like 500,000. Do you know my ranking now? 6th on Earth. Do you know why? Because there's one server active when you turn the game on. And do you know how many people that server can hold max? 10.
10 people.
And 6 of them were online at the time. So I was 6th on the world. And I felt really happy because I remember seeing that list when I was like 11 and going, I'll never be the best. Little did I know.
I will be 6.
When I was 25, I would be 6th on Earth just by turning it on. But other than that, no, it really is pretty good. I really enjoyed going back to it for a bit. It ran on my computer. What can I say? I was happy that it ran.
If it runs, it's good.
It's a good game. And our second comment, which is from Sezzy? You look a bit like Tim Peake, Dad. I don't know the dad bit, that's weird. But other than that, I look like Tim Peake, apparently.
Who's Tim Peake?
He's the British astronaut that went to the ISS station and back. Both of you have let me down.
I know
the way you both
I know
went.
where Tim
Who's
Peake
that?
is.
That name escapes.
I know. Do you know why?
Why?
He lives in Westbourne.
Oh, does he?
Apparently.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's not far from here.
He lives
Obviously.
in
For the
Wa-
people who
He
don't know
lives
where
about.
we live.
Yes, it's about 10 miles away.
Yeah, we're on the south coast of England, which is
Don't
where
worry,
he roughly is.
don't give too much information
Too
away.
much-
People
he
try
said
and
a town name. I said the country. You can't.
Yeah. Westbourne.
Westbourne, UK. Don't give too much information.
Yeah, Mike.
Damn
Westbourne's not even in this county.
He's got a
It's in the
point.
next county over.
But it'll take a smart man to work it out.
No, that's so true. Well, no, a smart man. Smart people outside of my country. I don't believe it. Other than the beautiful viewers at home, because people who listen to us are obviously really intelligent people, because they're listening
Well, you
to
know
us.
how to pander to a crowd.
Oh
don't
yeah,
you?
I know. If you've, has anyone else got anything they want to add particularly? Is there anything that either of you have got
No.
at home? What are you playing? You're playing. What are we playing?
I'm still-
You wanted to talk
I was
about.
playing Fallout.
You're just playing lots of Fallout. I've been seeing your
I played
mods.
some Prison Architect this morning.
Oh yeah, I saw you play RimWorld.
And died really
yeah,
badly. I played RimWorld until everybody died of heat stroke.
That happens a lot.
Starvation is the one mine are
That's a bit
dying
of
I
a-
of.
was doing alright for food, but then suddenly everyone just died. And I put them all in beds, and it was like, that's not making them any better.
It's not.
They're not getting any better, and then they all died. And then it was like, heat stroke.
Yeah, you have to
Well,
start like cooling the house. To,
Yeah,
like,
you have to
minus
get
1
coolers
degrees.
in there.
But then I did make the mistake of downloading Saints Row 3, because it was free.
Ah, how
And
was
then
that
played it for
experience?
about 10 minutes, and then remembered why I shouldn't have played it.
Was that the one you were playing?
No,
a while
I
ago?
got Saints Row 4.
Oh, okay. Well, it was also awful. I'm picturing 4
It was
and
pretty
talking about
terrible.
3.
I kind
They
of
are
like 4,
bad.
but I like games that are just out there and don't
I
care.
liked the first one a little bit.
That
because
was back when it was a
fun.
GTA
And I
class.
want
Say-
Crackdown.
I have to say, out of the 4, is it 4 now?
Yeah, there's 4 now.
Yeah, there's
I have to
4,
say
and then the hero
second
shooter.
one. The second one is my favourite.
I just liked Crackdown. That was what I preferred when I was playing the 2 games.
Crackdown was another
Fun though, but at least there was an
ridiculous
excuse
game
for
with
it.
numbers everywhere.
It wasn't so bad.
Goddamn
It wasn't
numbers
so
everywhere.
bad. But if you're gonna talk about numbers, I feel like I can't not mention Borderlands,
I've not played it.
where I switched. the
Borderlands
numbers off.
has numbs everywhere.
That's ridiculous.
But
Because
you
each
can,
bullet kicks. You can switch them off. Yeah, I
you
switched
can turn them
Yeah,
off.
that's
but
what I
it's,
used
if
to
you
do.
can't turn them off, it's like get out of here.
Oh, that's true. What about you? What have you been playing lately, Mike?
I've been playing a lot of RimWorld.
Is it just RimWorld?
RimWorld,
Oh,
yeah.
fair. Obviously, everyone knows what I've been playing because
Yeah.
that's what the whole channel's for. I suppose they've seen you and Todd. We've been playing Overcooked. Overcooked was surprising.
Yeah,
That
I
was
wasn't. I
surprising,
sort
I
of
feel
knew
like.
what I was expecting, but when we got there, it was like I was not expecting this.
No, I wasn't. It was Cthulhu.
Spaghetti mods.
Spaghetti Cthulhu. That was
That
it.
was the Great Spaghetti Monster.
It was the Great Spaghetti Monster. The Everpeckish, even.
Yeah.
Fear the Everpeckish, for it has awoken.
And that's all we have time for. Thank you for joining us, and if you liked any of that, you can join us on Facebook at Sofa of Adam, Patreon Sofa of Adam, where we have that cup. If anyone wants to get a cup, the Sofa of Adam cup. You have to check out another of my older videos if you want to see it, because these are all without video now, but we own them and I drink from them, and they're perfectly good cups. So if you want a cup, then go there and get that. And otherwise, it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from Mike,
Bye.
and goodbye from Darren.
Goodbye.
And we will see you all in the next episode.